Black coffee with a side of tea. Oh, wow. Can you believe that it is Sunday, September 20th already?
It's almost time for Christmas, ain't it?
Right. So, this show is sponsored in part by Compass for Conduct Disorder, a 501c3 nonprofit organization offering support for those living with conduct disorder. To make a donation or find out more about conduct disorder, visit www.compass4cd.org. So, hey ladies, let's do our sister check-in.
Hey.
Who we got in here today?
We got Miss Mimi. You already know what's up, y'all. It's your girl, Miss Mimi, aka Mimi the Great. I want to say good morning, like we in church.
Right. And in our special chair, we got.
I am Lysa, the boss lady.
All right. And of course, I am Latriva Deneen. Welcome, friends and loved ones.
Yes.
So let's get into some conversation. So how's y'all's week going? What's happening?
Oh my goodness. My week is super busy.
Okay, so what you been doing?
Everything.
Okay.
I do work 9 to 5.
Okay.
So my 9 to 5 is at IAA, and what we do is we auction insurance cars.
Okay.
So imagine how busy we are with storms out there.
Yes.
So every once in a while they'll hit us with 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
Wow.
And right now with Veda,
okay,
that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
But we're trying not to get there, trying to get ahead of it.
Okay.
I also have 4 businesses that I run from
4?
home. 4.
Okay.
I am a travel
Wow.
agency owner and trainer.
Okay.
I am a sexual health and wellness consultant for
Okay.
Bedroom Candy. I am a nutritional health and wellness coach for Bye Bye Belly,
Okay.
and I'm a notary.
Wow. Who is the busiest at this table? I think Lysa has that one.
I think she
I think
definitely
Lysa
got that.
wins.
You win the award.
Oh, I'm a wife and a mom.
Oh, wow.
Anything else you want to pull out the
Right.
sleeves of your
What do you do in your spare time? Surgery?
Build airplanes.
Right.
You helping them with them Boeings. That's
Right.
what
You
it is,
know, with the the presidential election that you're doing. I know exactly what stuff going on. So Miss Mimi, how was your week?
Listen, my week was awesome. I made it through.
Okay.
The last weekend I was in Florida doing the radio show for the celebration of Michael's Eye Photography, the owner, for his birthday. So that turned out well. We went in a full house of people, 10 bedrooms, 12 folk, and came out a whole nother family.
That's
So it was really interesting to see who said we all can't be in the same room and do some things. So
Right.
everybody supporting everybody in all of our endeavors. So that was great. And then come back to reality.
Okay.
Back to life, back to reality. It was
Right.
pretty cool though. Nice little transition.
right.
But I made it. And I'm glad I did. And the liquor stores are still open. So.
Okay.
You was gorgeous. I saw you.
That's awesome. I missed it. Where can I find those pictures?
Uh-huh.
Where can I find the pictures? How can I see the pictures?
I will be posting them this evening.
Okay.
I find because they haven't finished all of them.
Okay.
Because they're photographers and they're sensitive about their stuff.
Good stuff. Yes.
So, had to wait for them to put their logos and all that on them. So as soon as they give us what we can post, then I'll be posting them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What city was it in?
It was in Kissimmee.
Okay. Beautiful. So, Latriva Deneen.
Yeah, that's
My week was,
y'all.
he's so silly. So my week was pretty good. I talked about it a little bit on Love Power last week, yesterday, my bad. That, it's that time of year in the life of a teacher. It's grading cycles and people want to know how kids are going, how kids are doing. And this virtual learning environment is, it's testing people differently, even differently than in the spring. So this week was pretty busy. I had a lot of letter writing, had a lot of phone calls, I had a lot of kids begging for mercy. So, trying to get everybody where they need to be, and just kind of dealing with the reality that, my district is calling us back next week, right?
Oh,
or this week, actually.
What is your district?
I'm in Fort Bend. And so
they're not taking into consideration the fact that every one of those districts that have called kids back have had cases.
No.
Wow.
And so it's more of what the state is requiring in terms of funding and how things are working. And so I will give it to my district that they are working really hard to come up with plans and accommodations for teachers and families. Basically, we're going to be running a dual model. So you'll have some kids face to face, you'll have some kids and teachers virtual. And so it's going to be really, really innovative with regard to how they make all of this work, blending all of these things. So it's really, really, going to be a different kind of week this week, just because, we're going to do half of the week where we teach like we've been teaching, and then half of the week everybody's transitioning. So next week we'll be ready to ride. So I am working through what, that this week will look like.
Right.
But I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful. Last week was a little rough, but it is over. So I'm grateful that we get to see what happens moving forward, because there's always possibility and beauty in the possibility that happens there. So Poet Goddess Fee, how was your week, sis?
Oh, it was awesome. It was so awesome. I just did a show yesterday.
Oh, speak on it.
So yesterday, as you guys know, I've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. I did this event called Date Night.
Okay.
And it's been my first time performing since March.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Man, the crowd was nice. Oh, it was breathtaking.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's good.
Awesome.
Ain't nothing like a crowd that feeds you back.
I'm telling
Right?
you.
They gave me so much energy last night.
That's good. That's good. Congratulations on your
You got a few bars you want to share with us?
I would love to.
Go ahead.
Get your spit on.
You know what? Since this is Black Coffee Tea, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys hear IEG.
Okay.
Midget.
She is the female soul of her African descendants, standing in stride of extreme abuse and oppression based upon the faulty perceptions of racial immortality. They called her the mother of civilization, one who recognizes her weaknesses as well as her strengths. She is the helpmate, the soulmate, the right hand, the better half. She is the ancestor, the creator, the forebearer, the origin, the procreator, and the source. She is her sister's keeper. She is her mother's child. She is that pink ribbon that dances with victory in that midnight sky. She is a leader, a teacher, and God's fighting warrior. Who is she? She is whoever you need her to be. Your high expectations, your good days and bad, she is your worst headache. A diamond in the rough, trying to be the shoulder that you cry on at night. Half of your team who brings her own independence to the table, creating something stronger within you as she impacts your future with positivity. She is a natural born leader, taking a stand for what she believes in, becoming the CEO of her own company, fighting to be believed in the place, still seeking to be the class president from your childhood. Who is she? Who is she? She is a goddess. She is a queen. She is the 19th female judges of Harris County. She is the epitome of Black excellence. She exudes Black girl magic. She is and always will be that Black girl that rocks.
Yes. Embodiment of the girlfriend that we all seek to have. Thank you for that, poet. All righty, so let's get into the tea of the day. So I've heard a lot of different conversations about different celebrities and what they got going on, and we've talked about, yesterday we talked about Cardi B, and I'm sure we'll tag on to that, and just a lot of times that Black women are often perceived by this stereotype of the angry Black woman, and that as we are trying to move in our own strength and our own leadership that Poet Goddess Phoebe just spoke of, a lot of times that is misrepresented, or that stereotype is placed on us when we are simply just trying to embody everything that we possibly can, because everything in the world is always pushing against us, right? And so I was thinking about, okay, what is this, this thing about being the angry Black woman? Like, why is our efforts at just being and demonstrating that strength, why does it have such a negative connotation? Where does that come from? And so one of the things that I kind of realized as I began to do my research is that it kind of comes from, there were basically three different stereotypes that are placed on Black women. So the first one is like that of the mammy. So also, that's coming from slavery. So because this Black woman often was in the home taking care of white children, this persona was often over-sexualized. I'm sorry, she was desexualized. She was the heavyweight, big girl who was the home keeper and the homemaker for white families, often to the detriment of her own family, or even not even being given the opportunity of having a family because she was the caregiver for the white slave owning families. Then you also had the Jezebel, who was the hyper-sexualized representation. She was a temptress that she was used to justify the systematic rape and over-sexualization of enslaved women and their impregnation and the fact that their agency and control of their body was ripped from them. And then you had the sapphire, which is what that trope of the angry Black woman is rooted in. And so she functions in the story or the history of the Black woman, the story being told, as the person who is there to marginalize, or who is showing that Black women are less intelligent because they're expressing their emotions and their thoughts through anger rather than the intellect that of a white woman might have. And it also serves to challenge their respectability, making them feel like, or making them appear as though they're not deserving of the common respect because of their lack of self-control. And then it also used that energy to channel their fear of the racist oppression and what would happen to them, and the fact that they didn't have another way to express that fear, so it came out in anger. And then finally also their disdain of Black men. It gave them the opportunity to lash out and emasculate and show or put it out there into the ethos that Black men weren't worthy of respect. And so this place of the sapphire, this person of the sapphire, is what I wanted to kind of talk through as we looked at the ideas of an angry Black woman. So I wanted to find out from you ladies, is that something that you've been called, or you've recognized, or you've seen in stories, or is this something you've had to fight against in your own experience? I know that a lot of times as a teacher, because of the charter systems that I often worked in, which were often largely led by white people, my passion for teaching in children was often misperceived as anger, and it was often used against me in terms of opportunities for leadership and the ability to stand in front of groups and even serve. And because I was made to feel as though this was something about myself I needed to change because it wasn't appropriate. And so I questioned whether or not education was for me, whether or not I made a good educator, whether or not I had the skills to be a leader. Like for 10 years of my experience, because of this stereotype that I didn't even realize at the time was being used to evaluate my worth. And so, ladies, I just wanted to throw that out there. How many of you have had to, or have recognized that, or have been told that? Do you see yourself as the angry Black woman ever? What do you got to say, Miss Mimi?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Growing up, I was often called the angry Black woman, even as a child. Nobody took into account or asked or cared, I think, about what may have been going on behind the scenes. One, and then as people, I feel like we always want to find some box to put people in instead of asking what's going on, or actually taking the time and the energy to decide, is that passion?
Right.
Or is what is that really that you're exerting or exuding? Is that passion? Is that anger? Is that frustration? And then find out what the root cause is. But absolutely, and like you, I got tired of being called that. I got tired of being ostracized for being. I used to be called Honey, was a nickname that I had, and I had it across my windshield of one of my cars, and a guy was like, "You ain't sweet, you sour." Well, but did you take into account how you came at me? Right. You can't talk to me like I'm a dog off the street and expect me to be. It's just not gonna happen. Right. And so people don't take into account their actions when that happens. But yeah, absolutely. And for a long time, I would cry about it because I didn't want to be the angry black person, because she was oftentimes left alone.
Right.
You know, and even in movies and such, that one that took care of the families where she died alone, she didn't have a love life. She didn't have anything. She was expected to do those things. I've been in places because I'm big boned, right? And I think I am juicy. I'm just saying. So people assume that because I am big boned, hashtag juicy, right? That I can sing.
Right.
No.
You are so right.
I'm just saying. I mean, I've been in the shower, you know. What? In the car by myself. Right. I can fix it in my dreams. But they automatically assume that you do certain things because you are a certain weight. And that goes back to how people were taught, or that perception that was given for so long. And so for a long time, I was like, you know what? Let me keep my mouth shut. Right. Let me go over here and try to see how I can not be viewed as that person or that type of woman. And after a while, it was like, look, I'm passionate about this. Right.
Miss B, Goddess B, what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of piggybacking off of what Miss Mimi said.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, it was people called me mean a lot.
Okay.
And they always said it because of the fact of how I looked.
Yeah,
I have
facial
this
expression.
Exactly.
Okay.
My facial expressions, it's completely opposite than the way of my actual personality.
Sure.
You got that RBC.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I'm a butterfly. Like I'm just like so like, oh my gosh.
Right on your feet.
Very.
Right.
I move with the flow of life sometimes, and it just gets me because a lot of people always assume that, oh, she looks so mean. She looks like she has the attitude. Oh, I don't want to talk to her because she just don't seem like she don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, you'll be surprised. I'm probably the most loving, the most caring person you will ever meet.
Right.
But if you always keep up that shield, how would you ever get the chance to know me? The only way you get the chance to know me is by talking to me.
Right.
And hanging out with me and know like, you actually a very cool person.
Right.
Yeah.
But that also, for people in the world, you know, they never. One thing about it is that people they're so closed off, so they don't want to get to know.
They don't take that time.
They're not going to that time.
Right. Miss Lysa, what about you? The angry black woman. Have you had any experience with this?
I've had a lot of experience with it, mainly in the workplace, and mainly when I'm doing one of my businesses, mainly the travel, because I am a trainer.
Okay.
And the main thing is the one word that was said was accountability.
Okay.
People don't want to be accountable, so you're mean. You're judgmental. Because they don't want to be held accountable for what they're doing and what they're not doing.
Right.
And recently, I had a situation with my travel business that somebody said, "Oh, I just want to quit," and I was like, "Well, what did you do? Did you go to any of the many trainings that I offer on Zoom every Saturday and Wednesday?
Just saying.
Did you go to any of the supplier trainings that they offer on Zoom every Wednesday?
Did you do your part?
Did you do any of that?" And I was told that I was shaming people for not going to training.
Yes, indeed.
That's what I was told.
So then how do you hold them accountable if you don't?
I said that. I said, well, I asked for accountability, and we're all adults here.
Right.
So what I asked for from you guys was accountability. And if you're going to say that I'm shaming somebody, which I would never do, then I'm just going to shut up since I'm crazy.
Right.
Shut up.
Right.
You know, so now when they ask questions, what do I do?
Just decide.
I shut up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the reaction to that?
They keep asking. And eventually, because I train people that are not mine as well.
Okay.
And eventually, if they're mine, I will tell them where to find their information.
Okay.
But I don't answer questions anymore.
Okay.
And at the workplace, I've been told the same thing. I've been told I cause friction because there's one particular person at my workplace that she does a minimal amount, and when she is caught in doing something and she wasn't supposed to do, and we had to pick up her slack. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't care. And I said, well, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable.
No.
You know, and so when I'm the only person that says something too. So when I say that, oh, you're causing friction up here, you're causing people to argue with each other. And I'm like, no, I'm just asking for accountability. And that's all. And it's pretty much that. People want to put you in a box. People want to say that you're this or that when you're being passionate. Look, I'm either 1 or 1,000. Do you want 1 or do you want 1,000?
Right.
Because 1,000 comes with all my passion.
Right.
And that 1 comes with nothing.
Right. Right. So which one
So
really
there ain't gonna be no gray area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are situations though when we do see that there are Black women who are demonstrating anger. Do you think that Black women have a right to be angry?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's about accountability.
Right.
It's
But
about
even
accountability.
outside of the job. So accountability, what does that look like in community?
Well, I think that we have a big problem with accountability these days because a lot of people want to go by what's popular versus what's right.
Right.
And you'll stand behind someone because they're popular, not necessarily because they're right.
Okay.
The no snitch mentality.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not snitching on my homeboy, but what if your homeboy raped and killed your sister?
Yeah.
Come on,
Now,
snitch
now what you gonna say?
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't care unless it's your mom, your
This is
sister.
in your back door.
Exactly. And that's where we're having an issue, and I think that's where women and me is where I get mad, because if you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a man, then I have the right to be mad at you because whether or not you were raised correctly, you're an adult now.
Right.
So you know,
Right.
and if you don't know, then you can get right or you can get right.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I agree. I think that Black women have historically been so marginalized. I believe that it was Malcolm X that said that no woman has been, or no group other than the Black woman has been more oppressed and more unprotected. And so the reality is that this is centuries of Black women having to fight for, protect themselves, preserve themselves, find a way to make a way for their own families. And who would not be angry about that?
Yeah.
When you're looking at a situation and you're saying, okay, it's not just me, it's also her, and it's not just my generation, it's the generations preceding. And at this point, the way that millennials and generation X, Y, and Z are rising up and really making, like, Black women are the most educated population in the United States. Why wouldn't we be angry when things are continuing to work against us?
Right.
Why wouldn't we begin to articulate and stand up for our communities and ourselves when we are finally the ones who you're looking at us like, wait, y'all are the ones who are moving the political conversations forward. Y'all are the ones who are contributing to our communities and to our economy. Y'all are the ones who are bringing the most to the table in a lot of situations. So we have started to collectively harness that power, right? And so I feel like that's what was referred to as righteous indignation, right? There's a purpose behind that anger. The Ecclesiastes says there's a time and place for everything under the heavens. And so the reality is that there are moments where that anger is justifiable, that anger is necessary, because sometimes that's the only way people will even acknowledge that you are speaking.
Right.
Is when you raise your voice and when you respond in a way that lets them know that there's more behind this than a request. I'm no longer asking. And so is there a situation, or what are the most effective ways of using your anger? Is there a more effective way? Is the fact that you are beating the wall down or setting a building on fire, if that's what's necessary, or taking a life? I know that these are extremes, but are there times when that level of anger is necessary and justified in the experience of a Black woman in America?
Ooh, so see,
You can answer that one.
I don't know about justified, but after your toes get stepped on for so long, you're going to react a particular way.
Right.
There's only so much, look, don't do that you're going to get from me. And then I'm going to escalate it if need be. Really, I'm at the age where 0 to 10, right? I'm going to try to pray for you first, because I'm trying to go to jail. Me and Bertha, we're not trying to be friends like that, right? I'm not trying to keep up with y'all via, can you put something on my books? I'm not. Like, that's just real. But I don't know about justified. Sometimes when you get pushed on for so long, beat down for so long, it's an automatic reaction. It's going to be that. Sometimes you don't have that second to, oh wait, if I do that, my kids ain't gonna have a parent, or whatever the case is. It's just done. Now going up to that is only so much screaming I can do. There's only so much yelling before I'm gonna have to try to figure out another way to get at you.
Right.
And see, me, I'm the type of person, I don't like to raise my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I work as a preschool teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to raise my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel as if I'm getting to a point where I'm going to have to raise my voice or I'm about to act out of character,
Mm-hmm.
I refrain myself
Mm-hmm.
and remove myself
Right.
and say, you know what, I'm gonna move over here
Right.
and I'm gonna get out your way before we both regret something.
Right.
Right.
Because that's not what we want to do.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
But the angry expression for Black women isn't always yelling.
True.
Sometimes it can be the removal. Sometimes it can be, it's just the fact. I feel like the anger is also that how dare you react?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you have a feeling about it? How dare
You got
you express, right? How dare you express your dissatisfaction with any of this?
Yeah, yeah.
How dare you no longer let me step up on you and
Absolutely.
do what I want?
Yeah,
And so that's when the angry moniker gets put on you. It's because I'm no longer able to treat you how I want. And so the situation that we then need to face, or the question I guess I have after that is, how do you draw those boundaries in such a way that, or do you just have to not care whether or not you're labeled as angry? But how do you draw those boundaries in such a way that you aren't perceived that way?
Wow.
Is there a way to draw that boundary so that it feels amicable to the people that you are saying no to? Because nobody wants to be told no or stop.
Right. Yeah. Nobody does.
Well, I don't know that I would concern myself with somebody else's perception of me.
Okay.
Because what you get from me is what you deserve.
Okay.
And if you're getting none of me, then that's what you deserve out of me.
Yeah.
And if you're getting all of me, then you should appreciate me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
fine.
if you don't appreciate it, it's time for me to bow.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And
Right.
so when I am angry is when I'm giving you everything and
And
you're
you don't
not, you're
appreciate
taking advantage of it and you're
Yeah.
acting like I'm supposed to give it to you and you're not giving me anything back. So that will make anybody angry.
So we've talked a lot and referenced a lot about professional relationships. I feel like we've kind of spent time there. Do you think that this is the case in personal relationships, in romantic relationships, in friendships?
yeah.
Do you think that people, do Black people see each other as angry Black women? Like, is that something that we flip on each other? And so how does that look in our relationships with one another? I will say for sure that I get infuriated when Black men do not stand up for Black women.
Yeah.
I just have zero tolerance, and it's to the point to where I'm looking for whether or not you're going to speak up or cower. And so it's disgusting to me the degree to which you have fewer Black men who are advocating for Black women than there are Black women advocating for Black men.
Yes.
And I can, I know that we've all heard and talked about, like, anytime there's a Black woman who loses her life in violence, there's always some Black man or a group of Black men who are already ready to attack or accuse her of doing something.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
she do?
Why didn't she leave?
Right. And so if it's a situation where, there's a Black man who doesn't advocate, that's where my anger, in terms of, you're supposed to be there for a sister, not even the whole protection piece. If you want to be that kind of person that's like, I'm a woman, I can take care of myself. Okay. But just on the strength of we're brothers and sisters. And the fact that you are sitting there either participating in my abuse or watching it is a problem for me.
Same thing.
Is a problem for me.
Yeah, it's the same thing to me. If you're watching, you're participating.
Right, absolutely.
Because if you're not stopping, then period, you're participating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in relationships, what do you like? How do you address, because they're quick to call you a B. They're quick to call you a B.
Oh, I wish they would.
That's the immediate, that's their lash out, right? Because to me, in a relationship, if you're calling me that, you're calling me angry. You're calling me, you're saying that I'm being a nag. You say that I'm being attacking. You're saying that I'm being aggressive towards you, which the angry and aggression go together. So if that's what you're going to call me, then that's what you're saying that I'm being towards you. And again, you're not owning your responsibility in this. Like, where is this energy even coming from? Why am I bringing it to you? So, like, how do you all respond to that in your romantic or personal relationships when you have to deal with that?
I mean, I've learned over time. Cause I got a lot of years on me, y'all. And I learned it really in my marriage. And it was hurtful then, but it's so true. sometimes when people start calling you nagging or you're nagging, I don't want to hear it. It's because they don't feel like you're worthy of them doing right by you.
Right.
Right. And when that is the case, I like to try to give people enough rope to hang themselves, depending on the relationship. And when that is the case, and I find it to be true, then I have to love me enough to walk away.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have to, because if I don't, then I'm okay with them stressing me and telling me I'm not going to do it. And either they're telling me verbally or they're telling me via actions. Right. And so I have that power to say, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
And so let me go and give you these, because I already said, me and Bertha, I'm not trying to be her roommate. I'm not, right? So, but that's what I found to be true, and that's in any relationship.
Right.
Is a lot. Sometimes it's that pushback that you get because they don't, it's something about you, something you've done, especially if you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying some new stuff. Oh yeah, that pushback is real, right? And it's okay to go for what God has put inside you to run and move and do. Make it happen. Because as sure as you have to walk away from people or they've walked away from you, He will replace them with somebody or something better. So I'm just saying, don't be nervous about it. Don't be hesitant. Make it happen.
It took me so long to do that.
Oh yeah, me too.
I was a part of an entertainment company. You know me. I was a part of an entertainment company for years. And it took, because I had a personal relationship with that person as well.
Okay.
And it took for me to see that this person had a whole entire life outside of me.
Wow.
And really, and then I had to get to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to be hurt no more. I need to move on with my life. And then it took him demoting me to another position that was beneath me.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Why am I giving you all of my energy when I could just give myself that energy?
I can take my power back.
And by doing that, doors started opening.
Okay.
And people started coming into my life. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to hold on to that no more. It's time for me to let that go, because obviously God got something in store for me that's much greater than what you was trying to give me. Right. So when it comes down to being angry, sometimes it's all about collecting yourself. Figuring out your own worth.
Okay.
Because if you don't know your own worth, honey, you're gonna be lost in the shadows.
Right. Yes, you will.
Right.
And before we get to you, Miss Lysa, I gotta pay some bills right quick and give this out. Are you sick of steroid creams, water-based products, and products full of toxins? We have great news for you. Lizzie's All Natural Products creates fresh, natural, toxin-free products for your home and body. Their products are made with real, pure, simple, plant-based ingredients that are good for your skin from head to toe. Lizzie's believe that everyone deserves to have access to quality, affordable, and natural products. Visit www.productsbylizzie.com for more information, and be sure to use the promo code STUNNER at checkout.
Right.
All right.
Come on now.
So this is a big one for me.
Come on, girl, you got it.
So in 2017, I left Houston and I moved to Dallas. And it was mainly because I was running away from the lack of support. I was running away from the pain, the hurt from my second marriage. I was running away from everything pretty much. And then Hurricane Harvey. And so he pushed me on out that door. Right. I stayed in Dallas for 10 months. And I was literally by myself, isolated with no contact. I would go on POF and I would I would text date these guys. Okay. And every time they would ask to meet me, I would say, "Oh, my son's sick." Yeah. My heart broke down. And I never would see them. I would never meet them. So I never met anybody. I stayed there and isolated myself. And in that time, do you want to know what I realized? Yeah. I didn't meet anybody. Come on now. I didn't have to be surrounded by 1,000 people. I always was afraid of closing doors because I always felt like I needed that friendship. I felt like I needed to come back and get that. And when I realized in them 10 months that I didn't need anybody, because I didn't have nobody. What did that do for you? Oh, it was so liberating. I found out some things that I like. I like hot tea. Okay.
We got some tea for you.
I found out that I like to walk around the house in my socks. Yeah. I found out that I like okra And my ex-husband, he didn't like it.
Okay.
So I couldn't really cook that.
Okay.
He didn't like chicken, and he didn't like. I learned the things that I like.
Yeah.
And when I learned those things, I was able to.
Yeah.
Yes, I was able to grow and realize that I didn't need anybody, and that I was happy without somebody. And you know what automatically happened?
What's that?
My standard went up here, and men had no choice but to see it and recognize it, because they knew that I wasn't going to put up with anything from them. And I made one comment, and I said, if you're upset with any change that I made, because they were, they were upset. If you're upset with any change that I made, it's because it's harder to manipulate me into what you want. So what makes you better? What makes you better than what I'm trying to be?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Awesome.
So just wanting to make sure that we recognize that if they're calling you angry, if you are being perceived as angry, that is representative of the fact that you have standards, that you are drawing some boundaries, that you are putting yourself in a position where you are able to call the shots and make sure that someone who is coming into your space and in your life, that they meet the expectations that you have for them. And it is totally fine for you to have those expectations. And a lot of times, just like a child, when you tell them no, they're going to get mad and they're going to begin to blame you for things. So just understanding that as Black women, you have that right. You are deserving of claiming your own truth and standing in that truth, because that's what is true for you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or how they perceive you. You need that in order to propel yourself forward. So don't let anybody hold you back with their ideas of what you should be or how you should be. And just allow that to be the thing that you can rest in, and you know that this is my truth and I'm going to use this to move me forward. So thank you, ladies. That was our tea of the day. Awesome. So we're going to move on to the hot tea by Poet Goddess Fee. So talk to us about what's going on in these streets, Miss Goddess. What you seeing out there after date night? What's that?
So you guys already talked about Cardi B.
Well, you can talk about it.
I'm about to go into depth.
Let's talk.
I want you to.
I've been feeling some type of way about this whole situation.
Okay.
So just for those of you who are listening, Cardi B and Offset, they are rappers in our country.
Okay.
Right? They have a beautiful daughter, Culture. So Offset cheated on Cardi B a long time ago.
Okay.
Before he proposed and all that great stuff.
Okay.
He cheated.
Okay. He cheated.
With a chest, I think.
And he just so happened to cheat again. Rumor had it.
After they got married.
After.
Okay.
What love?
Cardi B.
Breathe.
Baby girl. She's young. She's learning.
Yeah.
You know, she wrote the. Thank you so much.
It's a fan.
Ooh, thank you. Cardi B did this song called WAP.
Okay.
And in the song, she mentions, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me show you how I got this ring.
Right.
Obviously, that ring is not enough for him to come home to you.
Obviously, that WAP is on other people.
Yeah, of course. That WAP, the woman who he cheated on you with, got that WAP too, obviously.
And we all have it too.
And I had a strange feeling that she probably fixed him a sandwich afterwards, put some lettuce, some tomatoes, some mustard. She put some things on. She put some chips. She had some red Kool-Aid next to it.
Yes.
And he was like, I just need to eat before I go home, because my wife, all she got is that WAP. She don't cook.
Wow.
Can I get my clothes folded and washed? Because my wife don't clean either.
That's interesting.
I have a little bit to say about that.
I want to let you have that.
So I have just a little bit to say about that.
Finish. What's your position?
Definitely finish.
I'm sorry, but Cardi B, baby girl, you maybe by you getting this divorce, go to YouTube, type up. It's on there. Type up how to make macaroni and cheese.
No, ma'am. You can get it in the thing and add water.
You can, no, but still, I want her next time to be better. Here's the thing. You can only make a mistake so many times before you realize you got to do something different. You can only blame the other person so many times before you start to correct yourself. And in this case, obviously, this time, get it right.
Okay. And who is that message to? Cardi?
That's to
Offset?
Cardi. This has nothing to do with him. I have a friend, his name is Carl Hunter. And Carl he's a wonderful person. He gave me great advice with my last relationship. I kept on going through the same thing over and over and over again.
Okay.
And when you get tired of going through the same thing and start saying, why is every man the same? Why is every man still hurting me?
Okay.
After a while, you got to put some of that blame back on you. And when you start doing that, you start to realize the only person I got to fix is myself. Okay. So in this case, this is not for Offset. Offset doing what he doing. Cardi, this is for you. Now you young, you still living life. You got your child. Teach her how it should be. Okay. So your daughter can change the curse. So she can break that curse and do something greater. So she can prove to you and say, hey, mama, I don't want a man that's going to cheat on me. I don't want no man that's going to do me wrong. I want to do something better for myself. I'm going to make you proud of me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to change everything that you went through. I'm going to do better.
So she should teach her how to cook.
First and clean. Wash your clothes.
I have a little bit of a different perspective.
Yes.
I agree. I do agree. I agree that Cardi does need to cook some macaroni and not just let it sound like that when it's
in a pot.
Served. Yes, but I have to make Offset accountable as well.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Cardi could go and make some homemade lasagna, clean his clothes, cook them, iron them, starch them, stand on her head while giving him a blowjob, and he's still gonna go cheat.
That's it.
Because that's what's in him to do.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he's looking for every walk on the planet.
To stop. Right.
Absolutely. Because you went and did all of this. This girl went and talked to you. And you went and got on stage with her while she was performing.
That part,
and
right.
did all of this
right.
to go and cheat again. And we
right.
get Summer Hope because she messing with A1 too. So I just, she cute, but she cry too much and she get on my nerves. And it's like, I didn't know how serious the marriage was. It's a marriage hope. It's serious. Right. That's all it is. And he has to be accountable. Now I am agreeing with you that she does need to do some more things, and she definitely needs to teach her daughter, better and to have more than one. But at the same time, she said she wouldn't even let her daughter listen to that, and it's not a song for children.
True.
And we was popping that "Don't Stop" when we was young too.
But I'm wondering if that is just a song though.
I do think it's just a song, and I'm pretty sure she don't have to cook or clean. She got a maid and a chef.
Come on.
And she don't have to do those things. But what I am saying is, I do think that she should look at herself as well as him because she did allow it. And when you let them come back, sometimes they won't change. Yeah. But I don't blame her for allowing him to try. I don't blame her for that. Absolutely. But I applaud her for standing up and filing for a divorce and not continuing to put up with it. And she's making a great example for her daughter by doing that.
Yeah. I think that I disagree with the fact that she needs to do anything, in that we don't know what their relationship consists of. True. And every relationship does not subscribe to traditional gender roles. And so again, are we, and this may not be an apples to apples example, but if Beyonce were to come out and be like, I don't cook, I don't clean.
Well, I'm sure she doesn't.
And so then how, I don't think she would be vilified in this way, just because Cardi made that statement. I think that the because of how she because of her persona, professionally and performance-wise, the attitude is, oh, that's all you're good for. So that's what's missing. The fact that you don't cook, the fact that you don't clean, the fact that you don't run behind your man, the fact that you don't do all of these things, this is why you can't keep him. That I agree 1,000%. This is what was in him. He chose to do these things just as brother Jay-Z chose to do his thing. Yeah. So I don't see how, because she made that statement in a song, this is her you need to do these things because this is what women do and this is the example you need to put for your daughter. I think that her strongest example for her daughter is being a businesswoman and taking care of her own business and coming from the strip club to a prominent rap career and being able to say, I have a man. We had an issue. We working it out. I'm standing behind my man. It's time for me to go. I think that those are the strongest examples that she could make. And a lot of times people are arguing or saying, you know, she needs to do this, that, and the third. And it's like, this is a relationship between two consenting adults.
Yep.
Whatever they have done. And so that is their relationship. And there's not one party who is less guilty, more guilty. This is where their relationship is ended up.
Yeah.
And because they are in the public eye, that's the only reason we know about it. And so I just struggle with people who are basically telling her, like, you need to do something different and you need to handle this. You know, wait a minute. You know what? Because she is the woman, then she gets the reprimand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and it's men and women coming at her.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I don't get this. I don't get it.
And it goes back to, I believe, to the state of mind of the people that are having problems with it. Right. So my question to them is, would you stay in a relationship that way when you're being mistreated?
Yes, they would.
Because one, like you said, which is very valuable, you don't know everything.
Right.
All we know is what we're seeing in the media.
Gotcha.
The media has a habit of doing what they do.
And
they
she
can
never
take
said
one
it.
sentence and blow it up.
And she
like
never
my girl-
said anything.
Yeah, and like my girl said, and that was my thing. That was a really big issue for me when he showed up in the middle of her performance.
To get her
You did
attention.
all
of
this.
it.
Why would you even much try to come back and then cheat again?
That's it. That's it right there for me. You did all of that. I mean, on the stage with this.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Had the balloons and everything.
Yes. And she was looking like,
Yeah.
So we might have on the pages right now. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, people are like, well, she was out there cheating too. Okay. Okay.
She didn't get caught.
They cheating on each other.
So which
Okay.
means that they need
They
to
need
make
to
it happen. They need to
exactly.
go on and make that happen, signing paperwork and go on.
Exactly. And somebody, I think it was Charlemagne, he said, I read it.
That one right
He
there.
made a comment, and it may not have been him, so forgive me if it wasn't him. I just thought it was very funny. He was just like, the timing was so curious
Mhm.
that right before she files this divorce, she puts this song out. So she wants the world to know I'm available. If you need a friend, you know. So I was just like, clever work, my darling. Clever work. All right, so
and this is what I got in case you want that.
exactly. All right, so here we go.
Well, I want to know, are you guys enjoying the show? Great. Glad to hear it. This is the perfect time to let you know about the fact that Stutter Radio Show now has merch.
Yes.
Yes. Rep your favorite Stutter Radio Show with t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. You can go and purchase this you can go and purchase this. You can go get your ads, become a sponsor on our show. Visit the store to purchase your ads right now at www.stunnerradio.com/shop to get your Stunner Radio merch today. We are the urban talk radio for the Black and brown community, all of those who are with the value diversity. Stunner Radio is the heart and soul of our culture.
So let's get ready to take this tea to go. So ladies, let's leave our girlfriends with an inspiring word for the week. We are on Sunday. We are beginning our week. What gem, what jewel, what message do you want to leave the ladies with today? We'll start with Lysa.
This is something that I say a lot to people. When you wake up in the morning, before you open your eyes all the way, before you clear the matter out your eye, before you wipe the corner of drool from your mouth, before you move, before you do any of those things, understand that you are enough.
Yes.
And the reason that you are is because you open your eyes.
That's it.
Good
I
stuff.
like that one.
Poet goddess.
I'm on with it.
Life is short.
Oh.
Everything in this world is temporary. So live for today. Don't wait till tomorrow to get done what you need to get done today. Live.
Yeah.
Amy?
To piggyback on Miss Lisa, not only are you enough, you are beautiful. You are, like they said in the movie, you is kind. You is awesome. And you definitely deserve everything God has for you. So make sure every day that your feet hit the ground and He blesses you with air in your lungs. You know it, and you live your life intentionally.
So my thought is use your voice, because what you have to say matters. I feel like for a lot of Black women, that anger comes from them keeping everything to themselves. That anger that sometimes is perceived comes from everybody moving forward without them. So I'm helping them. I want them to make sure that they are speaking their truth and moving forward. This has been Black Coffee with a Side of Tea. Thank you and have a great week.
I can go right up to 3. I gave you to run a show.